Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hallmark Movie Drafts, where our panel of 3 guest drafters are Hallmark movie enthusiasts and Deck the Hallmark podcast double-deckers who love to rate, rank, and debate all things Hallmark movies related. And today, they'll be working with and against one another to create the definitive list of the 10 best Hallmark movies with a royal theme. We're calling this one the Battle Royale, and I'm Lynn, your host. With me is Erinbeth, my co-host, and joining us again as guest co-hosts to help keep us all this royal chaos under control is the legend herself, Jane.
I think you're overstating it a little bit.
I don't think so. Jane, this whole I'm a fake prince, I'm a runaway princess, I don't know what country I'm from. I'm a sad prince on a carousel. What do you think of this royal trope? Are you a fan of this? Do you write about this on your pod at all? Or how do you feel about it?
I am a fan. They had me at sewing kit. I'm down to clown for the royal movies.
And this is why Jane's my favorite.
Queen Elizabeth has spoken. Oh my gosh. Erinbeth, what about you? Are you a fan of the royal trope?
I love the royal trope. If I've learned anything, it's that I should search for somebody with an accent that is vaguely European, because he's probably a prince in disguise. So love them.
So once again tonight, our HMD mixologist and Deck the Hallmark podcast producer extraordinaire, Erin, has come up with some really delicious alcoholic and non-alcoholic themed drinks for us. Erinbeth, I saw a photo that you sent me earlier. Which one are you drinking? It looked really pretty.
I'm drinking the red, white, and royal blueberry. It's a blueberry lemonade. It's not alcoholic. It's very good, but there were 2 other drinks in there that I'm going to try on other days. If anyone is interested in getting those recipes, they're on our Instagram page, and they are fantastic. Erin does a great job every single month. It is fantastic.
Yeah, I had I love bourbon and cherries, and she created a really delicious one called Once Upon a Bourbon. And then I'm not sure if she's poking fun at me or not, or the guys, but there is also Fritillary, that's how you say it, Fritillary for a prince. And that one looks
I'm
really
sure it's
delicious.
Fritillary, but I could be wrong there.
Stop that right now. Fritillary. That's not even close.
To be fair, Brian looked those flowers up. I didn't see it. Had I seen an eye and then another eye, I would have said Fritillary. I would have. But I'm going to stick with Fritillary because that's what we went with. And I'm ride or die.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. Let's jump right into introducing our 3 drafters. They've had a couple of months now, more than a couple of months, to review the 22 movies in the royal theme that were eligible. They've each come to the table with their 10 best that are ranked 10th to 1st on their personal lists, and they're going to be battling it out to get as many of their picks as possible onto the final list. Ideally, in the position they have them on their own list. So, listeners, just so you know, the chat in the panel group for the past couple of months has been off the rails, competitive, and hilarious. So buckle up. Words might be said, fur might be flying. You have no idea what's going to happen here. So first up is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, this is your first time drafting with us, and this trope is right up your royal lace-covered alley.
Oh, it's so close to my heart. I tell you, really, it just doesn't get closer than this. Well, if it was a lace museum, it would be a little closer, but the royal is right. It's right on par.
And for those who can't see Elizabeth right now, she is wearing a very sparkly tiara. And Elizabeth, you're not just, the average old double-decker. You are front and center in supporting and coordinating the Deck the Hallmark podcast events throughout the year. And outside of this little DTH bubble, you are a published author as well. And
published is stretching it, but we'll go with it. I love it.
I stand by it. I can say whatever I want. Me. It's a published author. And you've managed to, how do I put this? Suck your husband into the DTH world?
I have. Actually, it was more the guys, but hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, he's in. He works the events. God bless him.
We love Martin. So next up is Jillian, aka Lady Panda, as nicknamed by Dan in the Andrew Walker draft, the very first one that we did. And it really suits you. I think it's both hilarious and perfect because your observations and your takes are fantastic. And you made Dan's head literally explode during that draft with your strategy. What are you up to tonight? You're going to try the same strategy tonight?
Strategy.
The strategy of not having a strategy.
Yeah.
I hope I can live up to my nickname. That's what I'm going for, is if I can live up to the Lady Panda nickname.
Perfect. And you've already heard from him, but our third and final drafter here for the second time is none other than Daniel Thompson, aka Dan, host of the Deck the Hallmark podcast and many other podcasts in the Bramble Jam podcast network. Dan, are you confident that your picks are going to make it onto the final list, ranked where you want them to be, or are you the king of wishful thinking?
Oh, I like that.
See what I did
Nicely
there?
done.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Larry.
I will say that when people think of Royal movies on the Hallmark Channel, they think of me, and so it's a natural fit that I would be here. I watched most of these movies for the first time over the last 2 months, and so I don't know where they fall in the pantheon of Hallmark like viewership and opinion, which is going to be fun because I know where some of these fall, and I think the top 3 or 4 we all should be somewhere near the same page, and I guess I could be wrong on that. But after that, Lynn, I am not confident about a single one of these. And that makes me very, very excited because I think going into Andrew Walker, it's like, these are his 7 or 8 best movies. I think we all know, or like Tyler Hines. But this one, gosh, I think a lot of this depends on when you saw these movies. I honestly believe that. When you saw them, my first Royal movie that I saw, I remember thinking, this would be a fun departure from other Christmas movies. And by like the third one, I was like, man, I don't know. So I'm fascinated to hear some of the picks and to utilize as much of my strategy as I can, only to be undone by Jillian flipping a coin off screen. So, you know, I'll do
So
what I
hang
can.
on, you mentioned Tyler Hines
Mhm.
and your buddy Bran, who, you know, he didn't flip a coin, he flipped the script in
Yeah.
that draft. Did you guys you just had Tyler on for a special interview the other day. Did Bran confess to Tyler? Did he mention the draft to him?
We talked to him for an hour after the interview, and we did talk about the draft. And I talked about time for him to come home for Christmas with, and it was a fun conversation. And we told him he needed to listen, and I think he's like, oh, there's a bunch of them, blah blah blah. So I don't know if he's going to listen, but we told him to. I talked to Bran too, and I think that draft went off the rails on pick 10. Like literally on the first pick, because what happened is somebody throws out its mistletoe secret, Kelly Pickler, get out of here. If that isn't played, then everything is as it should be. Like time for him sneaks in at 10, and then we all have fun. But what I told Bran about that list was they're just nicer to you. Like if I come on this, it's like, we got to veto Dan, we got to get Dan, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. Like I've earned that. Like I have no problem with that. With Bran, it's like, well, he makes a lot of sense. And yeah, if he likes it, I guess it's okay with me. And so he just kind of like, man, he is one of a kind listening. And I am a long time, like I listen to every episode and I love it because I love arguments and ranking things. But listening to him was driving me up the wall. It was something to watch him veto his own pick. So I don't know. I mean, he vetoes his own pick.
The first
Ridiculous.
ever. The first ever in the history of the show. But it was wild. It was fun. And we loved it. And the fact that he could just kind of sweet talk, you know, Tracy into using up her arsenal of power
it was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I could never. Everybody be like, if Dan says it, he must want you to do the opposite. Like, I'm not doing what Dan says. It's like when you played sorry as a kid and like whatever parent disciplined you last, you were like, you drew a sorry card and you were like, yeah, coming for you, Dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like that. Like, it's like somehow I'm the guy that it's like, oh, let's find a way to put this guy in his place. Get it?
I think this means
like
that
it's
Dan's going to play with love tonight. He's not here to make enemies.
Always compassion and love is first and foremost. That's exactly. You get it, Colin.
Exactly.
Right there,
All
baby,
right.
right there.
Well, speaking of playing, let's get shifted into gameplay mode. If this is your first time listening, you might want to pause here and listen to the Hallmark Movie Drafts intro show first. That's where we go over the rules in more depth. I talk about the format of the game, how vetoes work, all of that. Or you can keep listening and you'll pick it up really quickly. So eligibility for this draft was really super straightforward. The movies had to have premiered on Hallmark or Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel, of course, and have to feature a royal character that in the storyline is truly a prince, princess, king, or queen as the lead. There were 22 movies eligible. The 2022 movie, A Christmas Prince, Dan's favorite, in which he's not actually a prince, isn't eligible. Sorry, Dan. And we ultimately
Right.
agreed that the 2021 Lacey Chabert movie, Christmas at Castle Hart, isn't eligible because of two things. Number one, the main character is a duke, which is a noble title. And number two, because Elizabeth said so. So
Exactly
Wow.
right.
if you have complaints about why we're not considering it, you can reach out to Elizabeth at Queen Elizabeth at dth.hallmark.idon'tcare.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go over the drafting positions for the match. There are 3 of them, A, B, and C. All of our drafters are already aware, so I'm just going to fly through this. Drafter C picks positions 10, 7, and 3 on the list. And drafter C gets 1 veto card and 1 veto override card. Drafter B picks positions 9, 6, 4, and 2. Drafter B gets only 1 veto card because this position gets 4 picks instead of 3. So there's more opportunity for this drafter to get more of their titles onto the list, if possible, than anybody else. And drafter A picks positions 8, 5, and the number 1 position on the list. They get the 1 veto that everybody else gets, and they get a bonus veto as well. So keep in mind that Dan has a veto override card in his princely pocket that's left over from the Andrew Walker draft. So he will be able to use that here in addition to whatever other vetoes he gets based on his the drafting position that he ends up with. So how do we decide who gets to be drafter A, B, or C? We could toss a coin, we could draw straws, but instead we love to test your knowledge with a round of trivia questions related to this theme. And that is where Erinbeth and Jane come in as the trivia masters. The first person to answer 1 trivia question correctly gets to pick their drafting position first. The next person to answer a question correctly gets to pick their position out of the 2 that are left. And the person that didn't get anything ends up with whatever position is left over. Okay, so Erinbeth and Jane, take it away, please.
All right, so we do have rules for our games, and I'm going to go over them. You cannot answer until I have finished asking the question. No jumping in before I have finished speaking. As soon as I finished asking the question, just shout out your answer. Whoever is first gets the question. If there is too much, if they're too close, then Lynn and I will decide on who is the winner. I will tell you if your answer is right or wrong. If you're wrong, you cannot guess again until the other 2 drafters have made a guess. If I have to give you a hint or a clue, then anyone can answer after that hint or clue, even if everyone has not guessed again. Are there any questions about the rules? I am going to go ahead and ask the first question. These royal movies take place in many, many great fake places. Can you name 1 country and the movie that it appears in? Has to be a fake country and the movie that it appears in.
The expressions are priceless here.
Everyone, it is like dead silent.
Come on, guys.
They clearly didn't take notes like
There's
Tracy.
too many different ones.
No, this
I thought
one
about
does
taking
not really,
notes.
like this one does not really allow for clues. So if
Cambria.
no, okay, and the movie,
Once Upon a Prince.
that is correct.
Epic.
Hey, good job,
Wow.
Elizabeth.
So Elizabeth, you're finished with the trivia round. You can be thinking about whether you want to be A, B, or C, and Dan and Jillian are going to battle it out for second choice.
Okay, Jane, go ahead with the second question.
All right. In Fit for a Prince, what does the shirt say that Cindy wears to the party?
God, I got no idea.
I think it's like,
You don't need to answer, Elizabeth. Elizabeth's like ready to answer these questions. I know it.
In Fit for a
I
Prince,
think it's,
what
it's
is
party something.
Dan's like, there was a party? What?
He thought the question was what color was the shoe in the poster?
I can like see it in my mind, but I can't remember what it was. Do you have a clue for this one?
It's a popular saying that the kids say, but they use the shortened acronym for it,
With a hashtag,
usually.
usually.
Man, the clues are real.
That's not going to help me.
We can move on to another question if you guys absolutely just do not know.
All right, here's another one. Oh, well, the answer was you only live once. YOLO.
Oh, YOLO.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, there. I knew it was something about
Okay,
living.
so the
yeah.
next question is, in the DTH preview show released on 10/1/2020, can you tell me which host said each one of these lines? So the first line is, this is about one royal holiday.
Right.
The first line is, I'm concerned about the royal movie because it does sound castle-light.
Panda.
The second line,
Oh, I thought it
the
was
royal
done.
movie
Sorry.
the royal movie sounds very generically royal, like a classic back to basics paint by numbers royal. And the third one, the host chose another movie over the one royal holiday, to watch another movie over the one royal holiday. So first one to jump in can tell me who it
Panda
is.
said that.
To choose another movie?
Yes. No,
Okay,
like, you
then
have
who-
to match all three of them? Time out. Is it not
Yes,
on
you have
the
to
same-
match
okay.
all three.
Okay.
Okay, you're saying Panda
Dan-
said choose another
Dan
movie?
did get the first one right.
Dan got
He
the
did
first
get
one
Panda.
right.
Panda said the first one, then Bran said the second one, and I said the third one.
No.
Can you
That is
repeat
not
the
correct.
lines again? Because I didn't understand
Okay.
the question like that it was each. I
Oh,
thought it
wait,
was all
I'm
one
sorry. You got the
person.
first one. You didn't get them correct, but you got the first one right. I'm concerned about the royal movie because it does sound castle-light. The royal movie sounds very generically royal, like a classic back to basics paint by number royal. And then chose another movie to watch another movie over one royal holiday.
Panda, Dan, Bran.
Yes.
You did it.
All right.
Did
You
it.
gave that one to me, Dan.
I did. I gave it to you. I didn't know what I said.
The fact that you lost trivia on yourself, be ashamed, man.
I mean,
Be
come on.
ashamed.
That you
Man.
didn't know what you said.
It's tough out there.
It's like basic. Come on.
And now he's going to claim that we're ganging up on him when
I
he
know,
didn't
right?
even
It's tough
identify
out
his
here.
own words.
It's
No,
tough
this was
being the
his
villain.
strategy. Remember, he wanted to
That's right.
be
All
the
right.
last
So
one.
let's get to picking our drafting positions. So Elizabeth, which position do you want to be? Do you want to be drafter C, B, or A?
This is the hardest part of the whole show.
It is
is.
hard.
Okay. I'm just it. Well, I just it's gonna.
She
Wow.
sounded
Are
like
you
she was
breaking up?
cutting
There's,
out.
You're
there's
bad
nothing
connection.
wrong with the audio, people. This is Elizabeth stuttering. Are you stuttering?
I'm
Keith
regretting
Face?
my
Is that the
bourbon.
line?
Is what's happening. I'm regretting my bourbon, and I'm gonna go drafter A.
Wow. Bold. Okay.
No, was that bold? Should I take it back?
Oh, I love it. This is great. No one ever picks drafter. Good.
Tell me that.
Jillian, you are up next. Do you want to be drafter B or drafter C?
I'm gonna be drafter B.
Yes.
Jillian,
Yeah, you are.
drafter
Great.
B.
It's a great choice.
That's what you wanted,
Wow.
wasn't it, Dan?
So
And
now,
that means
now I can override 2 of your 3 vetoes that you guys have.
all right, let's review. Dan is going to be drafter C, which means he's going to kick off the list by giving the pick for number 10. He'll have 7 and 3. He gets 1 veto and 1 veto override, plus the other veto override that he has left over from the Andrew Walker draft. So Dan will have pretty significant influence in this list if he chooses to exert his power. Jillian is going to be drafter B, so she will have picks 9, 6, 4, and 1, and she gets only 1 veto. And Elizabeth is drafter A, and she is going to get picks 8, 5, and 1. She gets basically 2 vetoes, the normal veto that everybody gets and the bonus veto. Okay, so that means that the veto order is going to be Elizabeth will have to go first in declaring. Jillian will go second, and Dan will be last in the veto order. So just 2 more things before we get started with the number 10 pick. You guys know that you're going to send me your picks during in the chat, just to me, not to everyone. And that if you get vetoed, you'll have to send me another pick. And I'll offer a break at the after the 6 title's been locked in. If you want one, if you need a break sooner, we can take a break. Just let me know. Okay. So without further ado, Dan, you are, yes, those magic fingers. Let's see what he's going to play. Okay. So right out of the gate, why do I feel this is Bran all over again? Here we go. Dan has chosen a movie from 2011, and it features Prince Percy, also known as Flynn, from the country of Summerland. It stars Simon Cassianades, Kelly Martin, and Brennan Shipka. Ron Oliver directed this movie. This movie is Smooch. It's a modern retelling of the classic Frog Prince tale with a romantic comedy twist. A rakishly handsome English royal comes to America for an arranged marriage and ends up being mugged, oh good Lord, in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park and left with amnesia, of course. A precocious 11-year-old girl who can't bring herself to dissect a frog in science class goes to the park with the intent of setting it free. And through a whole series of all kinds of wonky, hilarious things, she kisses the frog before she sets it free, and then she turns and she sees what she believes is a prince with webbed feet, passed out in the park, and she wants to keep him and bring her prince home, and it just goes on from there. So Zoe, the little girl, is played by Kiernan Brennan Shipka, who played Sally Draper on Mad Men. So as wonky as this movie sounds, it's got a fabulous cast. Dan, please tell me that you actually love this movie for number 10.
I don't love any movie at 10. I am not here to tell you that this movie is going to win any awards. What I am here to tell you is that on the good time scale, this one ranks higher than the back half of these movies. Why does it rank higher? It is absurd. Sheer absurdity. It leans into a crazy bonkers new premise. There's a little bit of overboard sprinkled in here. Ron Oliver knows exactly what's going on. But I think the thing that you said, Lynn, is the best thing about this movie, which is the cast. Kelly Martin is really, really good. Kiernan Shipka from Mad Men is really, really good. And they're dealing with a mess of a movie, but they polish it up real nice. And if I have to choose a movie at 10, the only downside of being drafter C, which would have been my choice aside from having to pick 10th, picking 10th means I'm putting the movie in that I feel was the most entertaining of the bad ones. That is this one. Real happy Smooches at 10.
Well, that's really interesting. And Elizabeth's expression is hard to read because her entire face is covered with her
The
hands.
best part about Elizabeth is for the
She's
first
taken off her
5 minutes,
glasses. She's
it
putting her
was
glasses
like
back on.
she was like my dad that had just heard slang for the first time. Like he was looking through the dictionary, like trying to find the word. Like what movie is from 2011 with the like it was great. Like that was the best part of that.
You know, I think I pulled a muscle with that eye roll. You are an abomination, Dan. An abomination. What in the name of HE double hockey sticks are you thinking, man?
Heartache.
The
Let's
prince
settle
has a
down over there.
mullet. The
Yeah, he
prince
does.
has a
And
the only-
web feet.
the
It's
only
a prelate.
interesting
It's a
and web feet,
prelate.
right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah. The only interesting thing about this movie is that there's a $5 meatloaf special. That is the only interesting thing about it. It isn't even remotely royal. And he has a mullet. Ew.
Are you gonna
Ew.
veto it? Are you gonna use one of your vetoes? Remember, this list
Mother puff
represents
bucket
all of
stand.
you.
Just you couldn't have out of the gate, buddy. Out of the gate. Okay.
I only get 3 picks. I got to make the most
He's
of it,
trying
you
to
know?
get you to use a veto. You know that, Elizabeth.
I know that.
Yeah,
And
there's
it's-
some
this movie-
strategery
I will
going on
second.
here.
I will send you my
Strategery.
list. I will send you my list. It's 10 straight up.
you know how I said I was a girl with a tiara, a drink, and a dream? Buddy, you're crushing all of them. Crushing all of them. I'm not vetoing it though. You're not gonna win.
Wow. Top 10 royal movie smooch. I love it.
That's on you, buddy.
Wait, no,
Unless-
there's Jillian.
Jillian.
Jillian,
Oh, that's right.
you only get one veto. Are you gonna use
Oh
it
yeah, I'm
here?
gonna use my one veto on this. I don't think so. Are you crazy? I actually really like this movie.
Great.
Tell us why you liked it.
No, I did because it wasn't like any of the other like movies. It didn't fit into the traditional royal format that they have. And it was funny. It was absolutely ridiculous. Like, and that's the thing about the royal movies is you have to suspend all reality. Like there's nothing realistic about any of them. And this one was just off the charts, like totally absurd. But it was really well acted. And so I don't know. I enjoyed it. I like this one. It was definitely on my list, so I'm fine with it at number 10.
You know,
I was higher on your list?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you where it was though.
Wow. Oh my
this movie
goodness.
is kind of like My Colorblind Christmas or whatever that thing was
The
called,
most
where
wonderful,
The
colorful
most
time of the
colorful
year.
time of the year, yeah.
the most colorful
God,
time
I
of the
agree.
year. So you
I
either
hated
had
that
to
one.
really love it or you weren't gonna love it. So believe it or not, folks, we have Smooch locked in at number 10, courtesy on the record of Dan. This is Stan's
right.
pick. Number 10.
I want to be clear. You guys thought it was strategy. If you look at my list, it is 10th on my list, like dead on 10 on my list. It is. It's loony bins, but it held my attention a lot more than some of these other movies. So I got one of one so far. I'm in business.
This is back like before the whole cookie cutter thing with
Absolutely. Yeah, for
what's his-
sure.
the guy who's no longer in charge of Hallmark movies.
Done.
That guy. Okay, Jillian, you are up for pick number 9. You can DM that to me, please. That would be great.
Once I
I literally on Smooch wrote,
Figure
did I enjoy
out.
this movie? Yes. Should I have? No. Would I watch it again? Absolutely.
Exactly.
yeah, I would definitely watch it again.
I wrote, I don't know the country and I don't care. But you'll have to wait until I reveal my list at the end to know how to take that sentence.
Yeah, but how many of you guys have your little side bet going on? Do you have that on the list? Do you guys?
Oh yeah,
were you guys
sorry,
gambling on that
Dan,
being on
thank
the
you
list?
so much. I forgot
Yeah.
to mention that. Yes, so Jane and Erinbeth and I have like a host side hustle going on. We don't get to draft, but we've each come to the table and shared among the 3 of us what our top 10s are. And so we get bragging rights. We're trying to see how many of our favorites make it up onto the final list. Thank you, Dan.
I'm here to help.
You're here to help
Yeah,
because you
we
play
don't just
because you
come
play
to,
with
you know,
love.
listen,
You play with love.
we come to play.
Exactly. Okay, Jillian. Are you-
I almost got it. Just give me
You've
one
almost got
second
it.
here.
She's
Are you
doing
door
some hard
dashing
thinking.
like Bran said?
I'm door dashing my answer. It says it's
Yeah.
on the way. It should be here
Sending it.
momentarily.
Sending it via homing pigeon to
Such a
Lynn.
great line. Such a great line. Elizabeth,
Great.
how are you holding up in these first few minutes of this draft? It's your first
I'm losing
time.
my ever loving mind. This is just this is bonkers.
You had an
Bonkers.
extra veto, Elizabeth. You could have used it.
Not on
Mhm.
smooch. Not even for a mullet, my friend, or in a $5 meatball special.
It was good. It was shocking to see that the movie opens with someone getting mugged. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very on Hallmark.
There's so much of it that wouldn't fly, like in after that, which is true about William and Catherine too. But this one does it in the way that is
It's
the
actually
more
fun.
entertaining, in my opinion. Yeah.
Exactly. I have Jillian's pick.
Come on, Jillian.
So Jillian has chosen a movie from 2017, and it stars Jesse Schramm and Sam Page as Prince Jeffrey from I don't know what country. So magazine assistant and aspiring fashion designer Caitlin's world is turned upside down when Prince Jeffrey and his assumed future fiancée, Lady Isabel, come to town. Isabel hires Caitlin to design a dress for the royal New Year's Eve ball where Jeffrey is expected to propose. And this ball and this dress could actually launch her fashion career that she's always dreamed about. So as the New Year's Eve ball approaches, Jeffrey and Caitlin have gotten closer together and they have to decide if they can overcome royal tradition to pursue their happily ever after. Jillian, why do you like this movie at number 9?
So there's so much more to this movie than in the little description. Like, there's a lot that happens. There's this woman who's like trying to make it in the design world, and she's like secretly designing like dresses on her own. And then there's this prince that comes along that does the whole like pretending not to be a prince so he can be a normal person. I don't know. I found this movie really entertaining. I liked that it, I don't know, it didn't follow quite the same pattern as some of the other ones. And I thought the characters were interesting. I thought Jessie Schramm's character was great. I thought she was like just really great in this movie. And I could listen to Sam Page do a ridiculous British accent like all day long. Like, that was just the best thing ever. So yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was funny. There's this one of my favorite scenes in this movie is where the two leads are like at a coffee shop, and the like royal butler or whatever comes in, is like he tells them that the king is calling, and he's like, and Sam Page is like, take a message. And the guy's just like, wait, what? And it's absolutely ridiculous. And like but the expression on his face, like when he has to go back and like take the message, I don't know, it's just funny. It's really, I thought it was enjoyable. Anyway, so that's why I have it on my list.
I think you made some really good points. Elizabeth, has she convinced you to let this ride at number 9?
Oh, Jillian, darling,
Oh,
what
boy.
what have you done to me? So let's review.
Let's go,
We have-
Colin.
Yeah, we have Smooch, which I had as 21.
Out of
And,
22?
And then Royal New Year's Eve, I had as 17.
Let's go.
I have a feeling that our lists are like reversed.
I didn't get that feeling. It's not a comfortable one. My tiara is starting to itch a little bit here. His accent is horrific.
Yes.
Horrific.
Yes,
not my
queen.
turn.
But
Not my
he's
turn.
so
Yes.
cute.
Ugh, I can't stand
Horrific.
Sam Page.
Ugh. And
I'm sorry. I have feelings. Whenever I see he's in a movie, I debate whether I'm going to watch it or not.
Sam
Jane
Page is
has
my
feelings.
Princeton
No, I
boy.
love him.
Crushed me.
Ugh, he's a horrible actor. His accents are the worst.
Dane, wait your turn, but also keep talking.
Sorry. Didn't mean to hijack there.
No, let's go.
No, I think it's
You-
great.
okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with you two because you keep throwing crap at the wall here.
But
I
you have
think they're in
vetoes.
cahoots. They're
Yeah,
in cahoots, Elizabeth.
I'm beginning to believe that quite frankly. I thought Lady Panda and I were just going to ride off into the sunset together. And I'm just a little bit clipped because now Lady Panda's hanging me out to dry again.
It's nothing personal, I promise.
They're just
Yeah.
gunning for your vetoes.
Talk to my tiara. Okay. The question is this the hill I'm going to die on? And it's not. I'm going to let it
What
stand.
are you saving them for at this point? Yeah, there's last 8 picks are yours.
Dude,
Elizabeth.
it's like the crown jewels. You gotta hoard a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Dan.
Now
you
it's
had a
Elizabeth's
lot of
turn to cause
vetoes.
chaos.
Come on, Dan.
So-
You had a lot of vetoes. Let's go. Come on, baby.
I don't. I have
No,
one.
Dan,
only
you
got
have
one.
one veto. You have
Get off
one
the
I have
bench,
veto.
Dave.
one.
Come on. Get in the game.
Yeah, here's the thing about this movie is it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It was 20 on my list. 20. Sam Page may be a national treasure as a family man or a golfer or a driver or something else. But as an actor with a British accent, no. It was hard to watch. I was sitting in the office watching this, and at one point in the middle, I said, "This has to be the worst movie I've ever seen."
Did you watch Smooch to that point or not?
No, I had not yet, believe it or not, but that
Alright,
made
there
my
you go.
list because it was 10th. And I will say this: it's an abomination of a film. And I got to be honest, this was in there were 4 movies that I had just decided like don't belong on the list. And then there's 4 at the top. Actually, there's 5 that I think should be the top 5. There's 4 at the bottom that I thought didn't belong on the list. This is in those 4 movies. This is in the 4 movies that I'm like, you know what? After the top 5, I don't really care. 5 to 19, all are on board for me, whatever. Like at the end of the day, I may not like one more than the other, but it is what it is. And I get the feeling my other 2 will not be picked under any circumstances, not even for a bit. And so like the 2 that are, this is 20, 21 and 22 are so bad that I don't think anybody would jokingly pick them because they respect the game too much. And so this is that level of bad. Like it really is that bad.
I don't
of a
think we
movie.
watched the same movie, Dan.
Oh,
we
you watched the
did.
same
We
movie.
watched.
Yeah.
As soon as you said I could listen
Yeah,
to
I
Sam
think
Page
we all
speak in
watched
a
that
British
movie.
accent, I knew exactly what movie you had watched. And so
I just
my
hope Sam
thing is
Page can
this.
come to a lunch with the boys. That's all I hope for.
Look, it doesn't help that the guy is trying to speak British and he's never even seen a British person, but also like he also is in a Godwink movie. Like that doesn't help either. Like I don't like, I can't help that he's sheltered and in Godwink movies. Like that's not my problem.
But he
And so
was in
I
a
have-
movie where there actually was a lighthouse, right?
Yeah, I don't know that it was he. I don't know.
One with a dead wife and the ghost and the.
Yes.
Wasn't there a lighthouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last summer. That
That's
aired
right.
last
Oh God,
summer.
I must have just missed it altogether.
Like you
There
blanked
were
out on
2
that one.
lighthouse movies. There was Mariah's Lighthouse and this.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were lighthouse rich in 2022.
We were something. So I just have to decide, I guess. I thought, I got to be honest, if I was Elizabeth, I would have vetoed it. I had 2, I'd have vetoed it, knowing you have all that power coming forward. Most of my power lies in the fact that I have 2 veto overrides. That's most of my power.
What are you gonna do,
This-
Dan?
I don't like this here, but it does make me think that if she's going to play this here, then any chance I have of navigating the top 5 is gone if I keep Sam Page's like whatever that was off of the list.
I could always play it higher.
Yeah, you could want to know. I'm not. That's not. Look, I think Elizabeth would have an aneurysm, and I don't want to see that. None of us do.
She would.
Um,
How much alcohol am I going to have to consume for this to be okay?
Now, I got to be honest. Elizabeth and I had a chance to work together there because I feel like, believe it or not, and her and I have not talked about this. I feel like our top side is very similar. I
He's
feel
sweet talking you to use that
the
veto.
top of our list is very, very similar, and we could have used those 3 vetoes together to make sure that that top stayed the same. I just don't know I can't do this and play the game like I want to play it. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect
Welcome
this
to my
just
life. You
absolute
played smooch.
garbage. Yeah, it's true. I did, but I believe in it. I believe that it was the right play.
But you owe me.
yeah,
I'm owed.
I'm gonna have to let it go. I'm gonna have to let it go at 9, even though it was 20 on my list. Because I'm protecting my top 5. I'm protecting the top 5 as best I can. And I really was, Colin, I thought that was your chance. I thought that was it right there.
He
Well,
tried.
Mr. Smooch. It wasn't.
He tried sweet talking you, and then he tried
Once
to
again,
pick
it's like the
shame
game
you.
of
He
sorry.
tried to
It's
veto
like the
shame
game of
you.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Pick a
So-
lane, Dan. You're either going to sweet talk me or shame me. Come on. Don't play both
Yeah.
sides.
So, so as we wait for Elizabeth to send me her first pick ever, pick number 8, as a direct
I'm
message,
just kidding. Just
let's
kidding.
review the beauty of this list so far. We have at number 10, Smooch. At number 9, Royal New Year's Eve. What, pray tell, will be positioned by chance at number 8? I have Elizabeth's pick.
Let's go.
Let's just
She's ready to go.
burn it down, people. That's the sense that I'm getting from these offerings. Elizabeth has picked a movie from 2021 where Prince Ronan evidently doesn't have a country. We know he came from somewhere, but the movie doesn't tell us.
Not important.
It stars Natalie Hall, Jonathan Keltz, and Melinda Michael. It's Fit for a Prince. A fashion designer is hired to dress ladies of a wealthy family, which are hosting an upcoming charity ball. Natalie Hall plays Cindy, and Cindy's life takes an unexpected turn when Prince Ronan, who is visiting the host family from a country that we don't know the name of, becomes smitten with her. It's a great rollicking movie of fun. And the best thing is that Natalie Hall and Jonathan Keltz star in a Lifetime movie called Stalked by a Prince. It just doesn't get any better than this.
It does not. It does not.
If for no other
It is
reason,
the
Fit for a
best.
Prince should be on this list in some ways. Elizabeth, why do you like it at number 8?
Okay. As far as like a royal rate-o-meter, so in looking at all the films, I kind of have a royal rate-o-meter. So,
Nice.
of course I do. I have a
How
spreadsheet.
royal is it?
Well, it loses points because it's not in country, and it loses points because it only has like a castle light. But his
So
accent,
it doesn't lose points because it's bad. Just checking.
James,
Sorry.
I
Sorry.
have so much against me. Really, I have to deal with these two, and now you're going to
Listen.
jump on that wagon.
Yeah, I am.
And just for the listeners, you should know that Jane and Elizabeth, the whole reason I asked Jane to come in and help control the chaos is because she's really good friends with Elizabeth, and I figured
Yes,
she could
she's my sister.
keep
That's
her in
right.
line. And we see how that's working right now.
Is it
Even
the
sisters
tiara?
fight. Even sisters fight.
Even sisters fight.
Anyway, it gets extra points for his accent because it's beautiful and he's lovely and he's completely a prince. And then it gets extra points for the Cinderella theme. So yes, I had this a little bit lower, but now with the abomination that's below it, I kicked it in here at 8. I love that the 2 weird sewing assistants never speak. I think that's hysterical. I love the mean girls. I mean, there's just so much to love about this. It really is. It's cute. It's lovely. He's charming. Oh, he's completely royal.
It has some really snappy dialogue. They have some
Snappy
great-
dialogue. I'm telling you, royal rate-o-meter, it's ringing some bells.
Is that trademarked?
Royal rate-o-meter? God, I hope not.
And the
No, by
cover
you,
has
by
a-
you,
I
Queen
mean,
Elizabeth, by you.
stop selling, stop underselling the cover of this film where Natalie Hall is in a giant shoe.
I cannot be held for bad art because that just sucks out loud. Just
That's
ignore.
what this movie is. This movie's bad art.
There's no pink shoes in this movie.
It's true.
False advertising,
bad
that's
art.
what we say.
False
That's
advertising.
right.
That's what it is.
Where's my giant shoe? I need my
Little-
giant shoe. That's all I'm
A
saying.
little
right.
bait and switch. All right,
Yes.
Jillian, you are first up in the veto order on this. What do you think about Fit for a Prince at number 8? Are you going to let Elizabeth leave it there?
So I don't really like this movie. I didn't like it the first time I saw it. I liked it more the second time I saw it, which I guess is good, but it actually didn't even make it onto my list. I knew somebody was going to play it though, like, because I know there's other people that like it. I was there when everybody watched it in the double deckers, and I know there are people that really, really liked it. So I knew somebody was going to play it. But I think, like, I don't dislike it enough to veto it, because I only have one veto.
You only have
and
one. So you're gonna let it ride?
So I'm gonna let it ride. Unfortunately, I don't know. I was not charmed by this movie in the way other people were. I thought it was pretty boring, and I don't know. I thought that the Cinderella thing was completely overdone. They just like sort of shoved it in your face a little too hard. So I don't really like this movie, but it's okay. It's at it's at number 8. That's fine. I just thought it's not higher up.
Okay, Dan, what about you with your one
Yeah,
veto?
this is I'm not going to veto this movie. It is a movie that is really, really bad. But the beauty of this list and we are setting ourselves up for just pure havoc, and you know it. I can see the host just palm to face right now, knows that everybody saved everything and it's going to get wild, and that's just how it works. The thing about this movie is I had it, I don't know, 14 or so, like after the top 6, there is in my opinion, having watched all of these movies, and like I never thought I would watch them all, there's a massive drop off in quality after the top 6 of these movies. And the next dip isn't till after like 18. So like 19 to 22, just like absolutely unredeemable. And there's one of those on our list. This movie is in that middle group where, is it 14 or 15 for me? Yeah. Could it be 7 without me caring? Yes. If it was above that, I would have an issue. Jonathan Kelch, the thing about him that's crazy is he's born in New York, grew up in Toronto, no British ancestry at all, none. And the guy's British accent is on point. You can say whatever else you want about this. Natalie Hall's adorable. I love her. His accent is on point. The rest of this movie can die a slow death. But those two, like, they have something. And there is a movie of his I actually had higher on this list technically. But the reality is that all of that's kind of the same. And you know what? My buddy Bran, who I give a hard time, rightfully so, he's going to be thrilled. Bran is going to be thrilled. This is his favorite royal movie, that it's on the list. I can see his smile already, and I'm happy that he's happy. And so for that reason, it's not a veto for me.
Well said. Dan, while you're
Lynn
sending
is
me
like
your
shutting the podcast down. Lynn is quit. She's like, if this is the list that we're going to make, then this is no integrity. And she just throws her computer
We're gonna-
against the wall.
we're going to start over. I'm erasing everything and we're going to start over, and you guys are going to freaking behave and do it right.
In our
Well,
defense,
So great.
Dan started it.
I played 10 list.
Dude, you
What do
played
want from me?
smooch.
But Elizabeth, can we agree that Jillian is the worst for playing a 20th?
Okay,
Jillian.
it's close, but
Just
I
be glad that I didn't play Smooch higher up, because it
That's
is
true.
higher up on
It's
my
higher
list.
Can I be
Oh my
honest?
God.
Had I known that anyone else was going to play Smooch, I'd have saved it. I'd have saved it and let somebody else play it. But I thought it was 10 on my list. It was the only chance I had. So had I known, I had a Smooch ally, which I did see live, believe it or not. But that's a different story for a different day.
Smooch ally. Good Lord. Dan, you go ahead and you send me your pick for number 7, please. And while he's doing that, Jane,
Mm.
what do you think of Fit for a Prince? Now, come on.
My
He's been
dumpster
in
is going to
2
be
movies
well
as a
lit
prince.
with these 3 movies. That's all I have to say.
Yes.
Well lit. That's some kindling
That's right.
right there.
What about you, Erinbeth?
I cannot believe that we live in a world where Jillian thinks a royal New Year's Eve is the cream of the crop, but fit for prince. I'm sorry, Fit for a Prince is like the worst movie ever. Not the worst, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
just not.
I would
I mean,
definitely
I
watch
just can't
Royal New
even
Year's
like
Eve.
Yeah.
reconcile that in my brain.
Royal New Year's
Yeah.
Eve
They
over
both
Fit for
have a
Prince
Cinderella
every
theme.
day of the week.
Oh
No.
my gosh.
Yeah, but the
No.
other one's better.
A Royal New Year's Eve is the worst movie
You know,
played.
it's
And
funny,
you can
it's
say
next
it's
to New
smooches.
Year's-
No way.
Next to Royal New Year's Eve, I have hate this movie.
You know,
Yeah.
I never tip my hand, but I just want to slide something in here before I read Dan's offering for number 7. When we had to postpone this recording by a week because somebody was really sick, I was prepared to just go in and draft in this person's place. And let me tell you, I'm ready to die on every 10 of my hills on my list. So will be very
love it.
interesting when you see
I
what
can't
my
wait to
list
hear everybody's
Before you
list.
announce my
consists-
pick,
consists of.
is Royal New Year's Eve also the one where they go to the basketball court and it shares a court with the band? Like the basketball court and the band room is the same room?
No.
Or is that a different one?
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
That's a different one.
Okay. All right. I was trying to think of what movie that's from. What
That's
movie is
my
that from?
royal
Royal
basketball
Winter.
prince. That's-
Okay.
That's Royal Winter, Dan.
That one
Royal
didn't
Winter.
qualify.
Royal Winter. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. That
All
was
right,
a
I have
scene
Dan's.
right
I
there.
have Dan's pick for number 7. He's offering up a movie from 2016, which features Prince Colin of Edgemere. It stars Taylor Cole, Jack Turner, and Lauren Holly. PR crisis manager Deirdre, that's Taylor Cole, and her assistant Mandy fly in when rebellious royal Prince Colin of Edgemere is arrested in small town Idaho. But when Deirdre faces her own fiasco, Mandy finds herself with unexpected career and romantic opportunities. I'm sorry, Taylor Cole is Mandy. They all run together, people. Excuse me. Okay, Dan, why this movie?
Yeah, so this is my first time watching this. We didn't cover it for the podcast. I have this as 6, actually, not 7. I do think that this is qualitatively in that upper echelon of film. And the reason I think that is, one, this is as good as I've ever seen Taylor Cole, ever. I do personally, and this may show my hand a little, which I'm fine with. I personally feel the movies where the prince isn't a surprise have a leg up on everything else. That doesn't mean you can't make a good surprise royal movie, but the movies where the royal isn't like a surprise, I'm a royal, those tend to hold my attention more and grab me and like that made a big difference here. Jack Turner and Taylor Cole have great chemistry. They both look great. It really works for me because she knows he's a prince from the beginning and isn't impressed to begin with. And yeah, I thought this was as good as Taylor Cole's ever been. And she looks great. She's acting great. Jack Turner does a great job. And there's not a surprise royal situation. And so it is 6 for me. I think it's in the upper class of these royal movies. I think it is a top 6 movie, but I don't have pick 6. I have pick 7 and not again till 3. So I want to make sure this gets on the list. And here it is, My Summer Prince.
Elizabeth, Dan is very passionate about this movie and even has it higher up on his personal list.
It's true.
What say you?
Now would be a good time.
Do it?
Well, I'm offended less. Does that count? I'm offended less because this didn't make my 10. She is the least royal queen. It's the chicken pox is just, I hated it. The royal Radometer, they got points for a kick butt dress and a great entrance to the ball, but it's not in country. There's very little royal, and they did get extra points for REO Speedwagon. Oh, right. And then the,
Great scene.
quote, shenanigans make life worth living. But then there's that whole problem with, is he really a prince or a monarch? Because, his deceased father is referred to a monarch, and then the queen should have, it's this whole queen consort thing. There's this, his royalty is muddled. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that definitely
So,
bothered me for sure.
Muddled royalty, saw him
Yeah.
live. Yeah.
well, on the Royal Radiometer, muddled royalty, great band. Yeah, that would count against him. So I had it at 12. I'm in this dumpster fire of a list, putting it here. Bring it. Love it. Fantastic.
Man, this is fantastic.
Elizabeth has
This is-
abandoned all hope here.
We
Has
broke her
another drink,
spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jillian, are you gonna Jillian, what are you gonna do?
Elizabeth, I really wish that you had vetoed this. Because I only have one freaking veto.
How
Oh,
much do you hate it, Jillian? How much do you hate it?
I think that's the
This was
theme
a-
for this
this-
list so
this was
far. It's
not-
like-
come on, Elizabeth. You know it doesn't belong on this list.
There are
This
other
was
things
not-
that I hated more, like smooch.
Yeah, we don't have, we're running out. This is number 7. We're running out of room here. Like we gotta start knocking stuff off if we don't like it. Come on.
I agree. After this one, we're gonna knuckle down and get the good ones on the list.
This movie was not on my number 10. Like it just, like you said, it doesn't have that much royal stuff in it. Like it's a decent movie, but as far as like making it on the ultimate royal list, like really? No. There's so many other like even like Fit for a Prince even has more royal in it than this one. Like I don't know. I can't use
Jillian,
my
you get
one
more
veto on
picks than
this.
anybody else. You get 6, 4, and 2. And
I
you
know
have
that's why
one
I
veto.
picked the spot that I did. But this one veto is killing me here because I don't think that this belongs at number 7 for sure. I don't think it belongs on the list at all. Like I love Taylor Cole. She's one of my favorite actresses. Like I love her. I think she is good in this movie. But
We're
I
doing
don't
a
think
Taylor
that
Cole
this-
draft in a couple of weeks. That's May's
Well,
show.
that'll be really fun.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Fun.
But I don't think this belongs on the ultimate top 10 royal.
You want to
movies.
veto it?
I don't want to use. I want to veto it, but I'm not going to because
You're not going to veto it?
I can't.
No. No.
I don't think so.
Oh, man.
Elizabeth,
last-
I really wish you would veto this.
Yeah, that's
really
how I
wish
felt
you
on the Royal New Year's Eve, for sure. But I gotta be honest, the last 6 picks here are gonna be bonkers.
Yep.
They're gonna be crazy.
Haymakers, let's go.
Just here we go. Okay, so just to recap, we have number 10 is Smooch, number 9, Royal New Year's Eve, number 8, Fit for a Prince, number 7 is My Summer Prince. Jillian, go ahead and DM me your pick for number 6. Jane, how do you feel about this list so far?
It's bonkers.
You know what?
I think that
I've
everyone
decided I am
is
going to veto it.
punking me. They're
I'm going to
punking
veto
me.
My Summer Prince. I can't
What's
live
happening?
with this freaking movie.
She's
on
using
this
her
list.
veto.
She's using her veto.
Jesus, you guys are
I'm so-
nuts. I can't live with this on the list.
I'm so proud,
Yes.
Jillian. I'm so proud.
Way to go, Jillian.
This
Jillian
is
wants
gonna
it
come
at
back and
number
bite
6.
me. I know it
Dan.
is.
Just let her veto it.
Just gonna put it at 4 or 5.
It's gonna come back.
Move it
I
on
know
up.
it's gonna come back and
I
bite
want to be
me.
clear. I want to be clear. I got pick 3. So you need to know that, Jillian.
No, he's never gonna play this at 3. Don't listen to him.
Chicken pox.
I might.
Come on.
I don't think he likes it that much.
Veto?
He still
Yes.
has the corgis in his back
Yeah.
You
pocket.
are gonna veto it.
I'm-
You're breaking
I
up
am
a lot,
vetoing
Jillian. Okay,
Oh,
She
I'm
vetoed
sorry.
you. She vetoed
I'm
you.
vetoing it.
great.
Good. Send me
You're my
another,
hero.
Dan.
You're my
please.
hero, Jillian.
That makes
Can
me
we
feel
work
better because
together
I
now,
thought we were.
Elizabeth?
I thought we were all getting punked. I thought that y'all got together because I dialed in a couple minutes late and said, let's just put all the movies that suck on the list just for giggles.
Just for
Mm.
giggles.
No one have a place in their heart for Marina Sirtis. I mean, come on. Counselor
Yeah.
Deanna Troy.
Yeah, Troy from Star Trek. Exactly. You get
Nope.
it.
I mean,
I have
come
no idea what
on.
you're talking about.
I'm not
Oh
saying
my
that this isn't a
gosh.
good movie. I just don't think it belongs on this list.
Jillian's right.
Listen to Elizabeth, who sits there all
This
happy
is
on
the-
top of her pile of 2 vetoes that she has.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the thing that drives me
Elizabeth
nuts
doesn't-
when I listen to these is that people hoard their vetoes till the
Yes.
very end, and then it like they don't end up using them even. And so I'm like, and then all this stuff ends up on the list that people aren't happy with. So I couldn't sleep tonight
yeah.
knowing this was on the list.
You were in a precarious spot because I think either vetoes are used heavily at the beginning of the draft or at the end of the draft. And so we were reaching that tipping point to where it was going to be full bonkers picks 10-7. And you did stop that from happening. But you have a lot of picks left. It just is a matter of if they agree with Elizabeth or not at this point. I mean, I can veto one of them, but if Elizabeth agrees with them, great. If she doesn't, who knows? Who knows what could happen?
Yeah. And one of the reasons that for this, for this podcast, I let everybody carry over 2 vetoes, not just one, in order to kind of encourage people to play their vetoes and not hoard them. There's another podcast drafting show about theater films that only allows you to carry over one veto. But I was trying to get people to not hold on to those vetoes to the next game. Anyway, I have Dan's pick. It's a movie from 2020, and it features Prince James of Galwick. It stars Laura Osnes, Crystal Joy Brown, Tom McGowan, and it is One Royal Holiday. When Anna offers a stranded mother and son shelter in a blizzard, she learns that they are the royal family of Galwick. Anna shows the prince how they do Christmas in her hometown here in the US, encouraging him to open his heart and be true to himself. She offers him a chocolate eclair that she's trying, but he declines it because she's a stranger. Will they remain strangers through this movie? Dan, will they?
Yeah, so this is one of the better scripts we've ever seen for a royal movie. Julie Sherman-Wolfe does a great job. The dialogue pops. There's a really funny scene where people keep coming down the stairs with the same dialogue. Laura Osnes, she's something. She does a really good job in this movie, regardless of my personal opinions of her. And so it's different. It all takes place at a hotel or bed and breakfast or whatever we're calling that. It has a very different vibe than most royal movies. It goes against archetypes throughout the film. This is one of Julie Sherman-Wolfe's best scripts. It's funny, and it belongs on this list. And I think this is a great spot for it.
Elizabeth, do you agree? Does One Royal Holiday belong at number 7? Can Dan be vetoed twice in a row?
I could agree with Dan, but then we'd both be wrong. So no, I'm vetoing. Hell no. There's no way in heck this belongs there. It belongs higher up on the list. Are you high? Who did not hug you as a child, my son? Because this is a great movie. Even if it wasn't filmed like in country, this is a fabulous royal movie. It's funny.
Yeah,
the
it
movie
is.
is awesome. Please.
You got it.
So Elizabeth
Try again,
is going to veto One Royal Holiday at number 7, kind of declaring that she's probably going to play it higher on the list. Dan, do you want
Thank
to
goodness.
use a veto override on Elizabeth?
Do it, Dan. Do it.
Time out. I can use veto overrides on my own picks.
Oh,
Ooh.
I thought you could.
no,
If
you
I
can't.
can,
Not to save your
I-
own movie. Not to save your own
Okay.
movie.
I didn't think I could.
No, you can't.
No, okay. No, I'm thrilled with that veto. That worked out great for everyone involved.
Okay.
Yeah. You kidding me? One Royal Holiday is way higher on the list. Yeah, duh.
What are you doing, Dan?
I'm making sure nobody's got vetoes.
Shenanigans.
Jillian's accepting none of this. All right, Dan.
We can do this all day.
Send me another movie. If he gets vetoed one more time, he sets a new record for being vetoed
Yeah,
3
boy.
times in a row. Oh boy.
Shouldn't have messed with me and my girl Taylor. I don't know what you want from me.
Oh yeah, because you love that movie so much.
Okay.
Should
Damn.
not mess with Taylor Cole. That's right. Mm-mm.
I love
got it.
Taylor Cole.
No, you don't, Jillian. You vetoed her.
So
I think I'm just going to put a pause on the recording and not come back. Here we go. Dan has offered up at number 7 A movie from 2014. It features Prince Leopold of Cordinia. It stars Jane Seymour, Stephen Hagen, and Lacey Chabert. It is a, yes, Elizabeth, it is a royal Christmas. Prince Leopold, heir to the throne of Cordinia, wishes to marry his young love, Emily Taylor, who's played by Lacey. She's a humble seamstress from Philly. But Leopold's mother, Queen Isadora, played by Jane Seymour, has other plans for her son and is determined to chase the commoner intruder away and have Leo marry his eager, overconfident, aristocratic childhood friend, Natasha, Duchess of Warren. Little sideboard note here, the same three writers wrote A Crown for Christmas in 2015, Michael Damian, Janine Damian, and Neil Dabrowski. A Royal Christmas at number 7, Dan. Really?
So I have this as 5 on my list, full disclosure, but I only have pick 7 and pick 3. And so since I couldn't have the movie that belongs here, My Summer Prince, or One Royal Holiday, both great options, I think this is great. This is for this spot. I don't think the movie's that great. The surprise Prince angle doesn't do a lot for me. Lacey Chabert, this is kind of her like an OG royal movie. She does great in the movie. It gets a lot of points for being like more of a more typical royal Hallmark movie. I think it belongs on the list for sure. I had it at 5, but you got to play the hand you're dealt. So 7 it is.
7 it is. Elizabeth, what do you think of this movie at number 7, A Royal Christmas?
Well, one, I think I need more bourbon because this is going places.
I think we all do at this point.
In the Royal Rateometer, this is darn high. We've got an amazing castle. We've got horses, a killer entrance to the ball with a gown. And Lacey actually wears her actual wedding dress in this at the end when they get married. The best royal movies for Hallmark are filmed in Romania, and this was. And even the fact that it was supposed to be a sequel originally for Princess for Christmas. I mean, there's just so much to love about this. And then there's Dan.
At number 7.
At number 7,
And we
Dan.
didn't have to be here. We didn't have to be here. I'm just saying, we didn't have to. This is where we ended up because of decisions that were made. We have to be here, all right? We didn't.
I'm just saying, when Bramblefest comes around and I'm making you tea for your little sore throat. Let's think about that for a moment, Dan.
I
didn't want to have to threaten you.
I didn't think this was going to be how this played out, but I love this movie in this spot. I'm not lying, like I do. But you can stop it.
You can stop it. No, I'm not going to stop it.
Yeah, you're not. Of course not.
Okay,
Lacey
Elizabeth's
at
going to
number
let
7.
it ride at number
Let's
7. What
go.
about Jillian? You don't have a veto left, but what are your feelings about this movie for number 7? Do you like this movie?
I freaking love this movie. What are you talking about? Of course, it's got all the royal feels, and it's got Lacey Chabert. I mean, she does royal better than anybody.
Exactly.
Like, this is like way higher on my list. Come on, this is one of the ultimate royal movies. And the thing that I especially love about this movie that's different than some of the other ones that have the same plot is that she's not totally thrown off by the whole royal thing. Like, that's the one thing I don't like about these movies is when the commoner comes in and she's like, do I curtsy? Do I not curtsy? How do I dress these people? And like, they act all nervous and everything. And she doesn't do that. She holds her own completely. And yeah, I love this movie. It's great. I think it belongs way higher up on the list, but if it's only gonna be at number 7 because that's where it ends up, that's fine. As long as it's on the list.
Well, it's on the list at number 7. So Jillian, you have the number 6 pick if you want to go ahead and DM it to me. And while you're doing that,
Oh,
Jane, what do
goodness.
you think of A Royal Christmas? This is like a classic.
It is a classic. It's that 2014-15 time frame when the royal movies, I really enjoyed a lot of them during that time frame. I actually had this a little bit higher on the list that I came up with. I'm fine with it being at 7. but I did have it a couple places higher. Yeah, Lacey Chabert, she is the queen for a reason. And I don't watch this movie every year, but probably every other year, I'd look for this one to watch.
Yeah. What about you, Erinbeth?
And I say she truly, it really is one of my favorites. But it's the best ball gown of all, I believe, of all the royal movies, because generally they don't fit the actresses when they wear them. I mean, it's that beautiful pink dress. Oh my gosh. When she comes down those stairs, I love this movie. Like, I'm happy that it's on the list. I think it's low.
Yeah,
We all
definitely.
Yeah.
think it's
I mean,
low.
it is a great royal movie.
You
And
know, I
Lacey
wish
does
to God we were
fantastic
going to
in it.
release the video of this, because Dan's smirk, you just want to poke him.
You know, I'm just
I
really
mean-
proud of you guys because this is one of the few panels where there haven't been animated hand gestures accompanying the facial expression.
That's why my hands are below the screen.
I'll just put it that
We
way.
all know what you were trying to do there, Dan.
No, I got to be honest. If you go and listen to the Deck the Hallmark review, I am not as big on this movie as everybody else is. I do think it's one of the best 6 royal movies ever. I had picked 7 and 3. I didn't want it at 3. I don't think it's a top 3 by any stretch. And so for me, I was fine with it because I think My Summer Prince is the 6th best one. If I could have got My Summer Prince on the list at 7, then you can have at it with these movies like Royal Christmas. But I didn't get it. And so then I had to go to another one that I think is better than 7 because I'm not going down. The movies down from 7 are bad.
This is miles
So-
better than Summer Prince.
It is. It is better. But Summer Prince could have been there. We could have had this higher.
Are
Dan
you
is
trying to
still
blame
kind of
us for this
claiming.
nightmare? I love when
Yeah.
you do that, Dan. That's just
Dan's
great.
I'm
playing
just
with
saying.
love.
It's
If you
our
haven't-
fault.
That hasn't been obvious.
Look, it was my third choice. It was my third choice for this pick.
Yeah,
Okay?
stop
Doesn't matter if I can do
manipulating
that.
me over there, young man.
All right, I have Jillian's pick for number 6. It is a movie from 2018. It stars Andrew Cooper, Cindy Busby, and James Brolin. It's Royal
Oh,
Hearts.
God.
It's so how to explain this movie? So Brolin is a Montana rancher who finds out that he's inherited a kingdom. He's got the title as well. He's an inherited king. I'm not even sure how that works, but that's what this movie is about. This movie is like, what if John Dutton inherited a kingdom? It's filmed on location in Romania. That'll make you happy, Elizabeth. Yep. So it basically goes, Kelly and her father, Hank, the Montana rancher, receive news that Hank has inherited an estate in a different country. And upon their arrival, he's shocked to discover that not only has he inherited the estate, but also the kingdom and the title of king. And my notes say, what if John Dutton inherited a kingdom? Yellowstone with a tiara. All right, let's hear it.
Elizabeth just
Royal
finished her
Hearts.
entire drink. It was perfect. Elizabeth, you have to. You have to.
What in the name of everything
Okay,
good and
wait,
decent?
Jillian gets to say her piece.
Wait.
Lady Panda needs to speak.
Oh, my God.
Lady Panda, the floor is yours.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. This movie is great. It's really funny.
That was the panda
It's
take
got
right there.
cowboys and
Got
royals.
cowboys
What more could you want?
in a royal movie. Sure.
A
It's
good
got
movie.
a really cute dog. It's got Cindy Busby, and she's fabulous in it, of course. I don't know. This movie, it flips the whole royal thing on its head. It's different, but it's still really entertaining. And I don't know, I like it. I think it's a fun story. You've got these the whole plot where like these two bordering countries, and one of them's trying to take over the other one, and they negotiate by like turning the whole thing into a ranch. Like, it's great.
It just needs a station on that ranch and we are good to go.
I think your description of why you love it was our Elizabeth and my defense of why it sucks.
Yes.
I don't know, Elizabeth, you're
I
up
ha-
first.
I had this movie at number 5, so having it at
What?
number 6 is great.
So
I don't
Elizabeth,
believe you.
when
I don't believe
Jillian
you.
was giving her explanation and her reasoning, it looked like your tiara was hurting your head. Is
It-
it?
You know, one, I take no responsibility for this list because you gave me these two people to work with. And I cannot work with them. Cannot.
This is the
I love
official list. There's nothing we can do.
The official list.
Official.
Two, I seriously think the two of them in cahoots to drive me insane. Dan's manipulating me, and Jillian's decided to take every sucky movie and get it right on the top of the list.
Man,
No,
Aw.
I'm just putting the ones I like on the list.
All right, Jillian,
don't
darling, I
believe
love
that.
you, but I'm going to give you one word: cattle. There are way too much cattle in this movie to be good, and to be a
What do you
royal
have
movie.
against cattle?
It's a royal movie. There is cattle. No, 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 no. I'm offended on so many royal levels. I can't even begin. I don't know where to go with it. And her character is so annoying. I want her to get run over by the cattle because she's just annoying,
A royal stampede, if you will.
if you will.
But it's James Brolin in denim.
It's James
He
Brolin.
was
Vicky
looking
doesn't
good.
even claim this.
nobody
Jane,
cares.
yes. Jane. In
I
denim. she
cared. It
says.
was James Brolin in denim.
Denim.
I was there for it.
I'm with you, Jane.
Oh my God, no.
All right, fine. On the royal rate-o-meter, we'll give it 10 points for James Brolin in jeans. Got it.
Does
Are
that
you gonna
make it put
veto
up to
this?
10 total?
Just sucks.
You're
So
gonna
far,
keep your
you've picked my 17. I had this as 18. That's great.
I had this as 18 too. Cullen.
But it's
They're
still at
besties
6 right
again.
now.
Are you gonna veto it,
Am I
Elizabeth? Or are you gonna let it
Listen
slide?
for you guys.
You know, when I was thinking about this, and I was like, all right, I have no strategy, but I'll hold on to a veto because there's hills that I'm going to die on. There are movies that I'm willing to defend, you know, with my last breath.
Yes.
Not realizing that we were going to have haymakers with cattle coming out of the woodwork that I was going to have to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to veto. I will not
Yes.
sleep if this is on the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Let's
Can't do
go.
it. Glenn. Can't.
Wow.
I love you,
Dan,
darling.
cheering Elizabeth on as she uses her second veto to veto
Oh,
Jillian's
that
pick
hurt.
of Royal Hearts at number 6. And guys, Dan has yet to use a veto, so he can cheer you all you want. But now he's in the power seat because you guys
Yes.
have nothing.
He is. He is.
Yeah. But still, that's the move. That's the move you had to make,
That's a
Elizabeth,
good-
and you
that's
did
a
it. You
move.
did- That was. If it comes back up, I can. If it comes back up, I guess I can talk about it at that point, or do I do that now?
You can talk about it now.
I had it at 18 as well, and this movie is a disaster. It is like James Brolin is using a Mad Lib of Middle America. It is like, where's the steak and where's the beer and bar at? It is brutal. It's a brutal watch. I hated it. It is only a little bit better than the movie that made the list, The Royal New Year's Eve. I had that at 20, this at 18. These are some dogs, man. These are not good movies. I will say this. The one thing about this is I'm fascinated once we finish this, because it's very clear that none of us got anything near our top 10. I know we get to hear Jane and Erinbeth and Lynn's top 10.
No, we'll do.
but I'm fascinated.
I want to call to order and have everybody
Yeah.
reveal what their list is.
I want to. I'm fascinated to hear Jillian's top 10 and Elizabeth's top 10 because it's going to be great.
So Jillian, if you could go ahead and send me.
I'm so afraid of what she's going to say next.
Well, just
Hey.
as she's sending in her number 6, I just want to remind you guys that Jillian still has picks 4 and 2. There's only
Yeah.
one veto left on the board, and that belongs to Dan. So she could very easily play Royal Hearts again at 4 and 2, if that's what she chooses.
Yeah.
Good.
Give me
I'm
this
out
one
of bourbon
sec.
because of you people.
Okay, Jillian, so it is up to you to send me a replacement for Royal Hearts. I have it from you right now. I just need to find it in my list here. Okay, so Jillian has picked for number 6, which was vetoed by Elizabeth, a movie from 2018. It features Prince Sebastian of Valdavia. It stars Will Kemp, Brittany Bristow, and Bethany Joy Lenz. Matchmaker Kate Gleason, who's Bethany Joy Lenz, and her assistant Brittany, played by Brittany Bristow, are hired to find a wife for Prince Sebastian of Moldavia. And after some difficulty, Kate succeeds, only to realize that she has fallen in love with Sebastian herself. Jillian, why do you like this movie at number 6?
So I have this one higher up on my list. Have it at number 4, but I'm playing it here to see what happens. No, because I really want this one on the list. I think this is a great movie. I think all the people that are in it are great. I think the story is fun. It's definitely different than the traditional royal formula that they have, and I don't know, it's just, I think there's some like good real conversations in it that people have with each other about like when Joy Lenz is trying to decide what to do because she just realized she's in love with this guy and she has to, figure that out. There's some good conversations about that. So I don't know. I really like this movie. I think it's fun. I think it's got a lot of royal feels because it does take place in a palace and there's people running around the palace the whole time. There's a ball, there's, fancy dresses and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I think this is a great movie.
All right. So Royal Matchmaker at number 6 is Jillian's pick. Elizabeth, you don't have any vetoes. Is there anything you want to chime in on?
Yes. Well, I have to agree. I mean, I adore this movie. Adore it. I had it a lot higher. I mean, we've got a fantastic castle. We have a great accent, chemistry off the charts. Again, another one that was filmed in Romania. The storyline with the valet Victor is just beautiful. And Bethany Joy Lenz, I mean, her daughter's in it. I mean, there's just so much to love about this. It's just fantastic. She does, Bethany Joy Lenz is phenomenal in this. She's playful, she's carefree, she has a really natural approach. There's some great banter. Really loved it. I would love to see it higher, but it's where it is. So there you go.
I wish BJL had enough movies for us to do a draft on because she's super popular and we love her. So I've been thinking of maybe doing a mashup where, yeah. So I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But for some of the Hall stars who don't have enough, but they're super popular within the Deck the Hallmark double-decker group, maybe creating a best 10 list out of these 2 Hall stars put together, and maybe 6 of hers end up in the list and 4 of somebody else's or something like that, just so that people can get talking about their favorite Hall stars.
Nice.
So Dan, you do have a veto left to go along with your 2 veto overrides. What do you think of Royal Matchmaker at number 6?
Do I have to carry 2 veto overrides into the next Hallmark movie drafts now? Is that what I'm hearing?
So
that
if you
is
don't,
Fantastic.
yeah, and you're doing
I
it
can't
in
use them.
September. You're doing it in September with Jane and a couple of other
That's right.
people. Yeah, you're doing
That's
the
right, but
anniversary draft.
Yeah, so I get to roll in there with 2. That's fantastic. I will say this. This gives me the opportunity to go 2 different ways, and I like both options. This would be one of the few movies that I would give a thumbs up to on this list. I had never seen it before. I've never gotten the Will Kemp thing, never gotten it. I got it after watching this movie. Dude is in his elements. The accent is on point. My man can get it. Bethany Joy Lenz, I don't need to say anything more about her. My crush is very clear about Bethany Joy Lenz. And getting to spend a day with her and Chris Palaha up in Asheville didn't change that at all. She's wonderful. And she's wonderful in this movie. In fact, I will tell you that the reason it was important to get rid of your vetoes was to make sure this was on the list. It didn't have to be one. I just needed it on the list. I don't care. As long as it was really top 6 is a different level. So I can leave this here and I think I could be fine. And now I have a pick left that is completely veto-less, that you can do nothing about at 3, and I don't have to use it for this movie, because that was my plan, was to use it at 3, and nobody could do anything.
Oh, there goes
There's a
the
gesture.
the gesturing.
But now, if I leave it at 6, then I can just have all the fun in the world at 3, and there's not a damn thing y'all can do about it.
Oh,
And that is
Smug bastard. Smug
that is-
bastard.
So
That
for those of
is,
you scoring at home,
But
Dan
your
is
name
no
is on
longer
this
playing
list.
with the
Remember
rods.
that, Dan. If you
What's
put
that?
if you put a dog turn at number 3, your name is tied to it.
That's right. But I'm fine with that. 1 and 2. My other problem is this: is that I'm fine in my soul leaving this at 6 because it's on the list. And that's all I cared about. And I'm worried, Elizabeth. So hear me out, because I know you want me to veto this, and I think it should be higher. But you and I both know that Jillian could play Royal Hearts at 4 or 2. She had it at 5 on her list. And so if I veto this, she can come in at 4 with Royal Hearts, and there's nothing we can do about that. And in my opinion, I got to be honest, the top 6 of these movies, this movie, I could rank this movie 1, 2, or 3, or 4. I don't really have a strong, I just wanted it on the list. It's on the list. We're going to keep it there. We're going to keep it there at 6, and we're going to move on and have some fun with the top 5.
Okay, that was a very impassioned statement from the drafting puppet master this evening. Dan, pulling all the strings. So here we go. We have, just as a recap, Smooch at number 10, 9 is Royal New Year's Eve, 8 is Fit for a Prince, 7 is A Royal Christmas, 6 is Royal Matchmaker, 5 will be Elizabeth sending me her pick, which she has done. And it is a movie from 2018. It features Prince Nathaniel of Cambria. It stars Megan Park and Jonathan Keltz. And it goes a little bit like this. Susanna, who's played by Megan Park, gladly accepts help one day from a handsome stranger, Nate, at her parents' garden store in a small town, Georgia. Sparks fly between them, but when a photo of them gets leaked to the press, Susanna is in the shock of her life when Nate is called back home by his mother for his coronation as King Nathaniel of Cambria. He's going to get elevated from prince to king. Elizabeth, why do you like this movie for number 5?
And this movie really kind of sneaks up on me. Besides, we've already established that Jonathan, his accent is off the hook. And again, it's filmed in country. It's beautifully shot. It's got a great castle. The castle grounds are fabulous. She's got a really great gown, a great entrance into the ball. But aside from that, the royal Radometer stuff, we've got that everybody is kind of conspiring against the queen. I love that, the valet at the end is like protection comes in many forms. And even her friend from America, Mrs. Waller, is trying to go against the queen. And his speech in there about his oath as a king to protect rights and freedoms. And, what example would I be to abandon the woman I love? Hi, goosebumps right there. It's fabulous. It really is. But at first run, I was like, oh, it's not bad. But every time I've watched it, I found more to love about this. And the fact that she's got a great career that she loves, that she was hesitant to start, but it's something that's going to flourish going forward. God, it's great. And her sister's a laugh a minute. Her sister's just so annoying. It's great.
Wow.
It is. Jillian, what do you think of this movie? You don't have a veto, but there it is at number 5 before we get to Dan.
Yeah, I like this movie. I mean, there's other movies that I like a lot better than this. But I don't know. I mean, it's good. It's definitely got a lot of good things going for it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm fine with it on the list. There's there's only a few movies left that I really want to have on the list, and we have enough spots open that I'm pretty sure they're gonna make it. So
Okay, good luck with
Um,
that, because nothing has
Yeah.
been sane here tonight. So
this is a
Dan,
this,
yeah, Dan,
Um,
you have the one remaining veto. Are you going to veto Once Upon a Prince at number 5, or let it slide?
I'm not going to veto it. I came into this after watching these movies going, there is just an unimpeachable top 5 that I think are the 5 best of these. They're just better than the rest of them. And 2 of those have already been played on this list. So we are in for some fun shockers down the road, in my opinion, because after this, there's 4 left. And this movie was 11 on my list. It's my favorite Jonathan Keltz movie. I think that he always does a good job. No one in this movie could point to Georgia on a map. I'm positive of that. The accents, the British accent may be on point. The Southern Georgia accents, haven't heard of them. They hardly even know them. Don't even know where they would be. Like I don't. Or you mean Georgia the country?
I was
Like
thinking
over
Georgia the
over-
country. Yeah.
And so that was off-putting. And so the end is a little bit ham-fisted, but some of the points Elizabeth made are good points. And I do think that it was, for me, it was in my top half. Obviously, did I think it belonged at number 5? God, no. But you know what's on this list? A Royal New Year's Eve. That's what's on this list. So we're here and we're family, fit for a prince on this list. We you know what? It's clear that Elizabeth Cullen enjoys her some Jonathan Keltz. That's what's clear here,
Sure.
with 2 of his movies making the top 10. So good on you. It's on the list. We did it. Number 5.
We did it. Number 5. If only we could get Mistletoe's Secret on this list, but there's no Prince. So there you
Yeah,
have
there's
it.
no Kelly Pickler Royal movie.
There's no Kelly Pickett.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank goodness.
Let's not even bring that into the universe. Okay. So we have Once Upon a Prince locked in at number 5. That brings us to you, Jillian, for your number 4 pick, your next to last pick. And while she's sending me that, Jane, it just occurred to me when Dan was talking about Chris Palaha and Bethany Joy Lenz, Chris hasn't made a royal movie for Hallmark,
No.
has he?
No, he has not. He
I'd like
should
to
though.
I would like to see
You
him.
should.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. We're all giving the big thumbs up to that. Maybe you can make that happen, Jane.
Pull some
They-
strings, Jane.
Sure. I got connections.
So funny.
oh my gosh, I don't know what to do here. This is so hard because
No, I know. We're getting to the tough
There's-
part. So I'll
there's 2 more
Okay.
movies that I think need to be.
well, you
the
have
top
2 picks.
3.
You've got this one and number 2.
Is one of them
Yeah.
My Summer Prince, or am I playing that at 3?
No, one of them I know is going to get played by somebody else. And I have a
Don't be
feeling
so
somebody else
sure.
is going to play
The
the
rate
other
we're
one.
going, don't be so sure.
Yes.
I wouldn't guarantee anything in this list.
Nothing
No.
guaranteed.
Ugh.
Going in, I thought, yeah, we'll all be on the same page.
In fact, I think
The
you
fact
guys.
that everyone doesn't have the same top 5 to me is crazy town. It's
Oh, just
crazy town.
wait. Just
I
wait.
can't
Well,
wait.
Lynn and Erinbeth, you recall how bad my list was for the Palaha draft. And I deliberately made picks this time around using a different method.
Yes.
That method also sucks.
I've been thinking about you this whole time. Mine isn't much better, but I'm like, poor Jane switched up what she did.
And still got it wrong.
Exactly.
I have
exactly.
learned there is no formula.
Yeah. Yeah.
You either do
No.
well or you don't. I mean, it's just,
Ditto.
there's no formula. I'm
You know, when I put
convinced
these
was
panels
proud-
together, I'm trying to find personalities that will be really interesting together. So sometimes they're friends in real life. We've had a couple of drafts of that where literally it's like, are you still friends now? What happened? Which is
Okay.
the beauty of this game. How you coming along there, Jillian?
The DoorDash delivery is almost here. Don't worry,
Okay,
it's coming
DoorDash
along.
is almost here. So while she's still waiting for DoorDash, I was thinking, because this has been so bonkers, maybe if you guys post your personal top 10 into the messenger chat, our panel chat, not in the Zoom chat, then I can actually create a post so that people can see what they actually looked like, if that's cool with you guys. Yeah,
Sounds great.
I think that'll be really good, because this just went everywhere. Okie dokie. Speaking of going everywhere. All right.
When Lynn laughs, I always get worried. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no, what is this?
Right.
I give up.
Hold
Oh,
on.
boy.
All right. I had some bourbon. Lay it on me.
All right, have some bourbon for me. I'm so glad I'm not drinking tonight. Okay, so Jillian has offered up for the number 4 pick, a movie from 2020. It features Prince Whitaker of Ancadia, Neil Bledsoe, Rachel Austin, A Christmas Carousel. When Lila is hired by the royal family of Ancadia to repair a carousel, she must work with the prince to complete it by Christmas. A mix between love, Christmas, and the arts, A Christmas Carousel follows Lila and her father, who go to Ancadia to repair her great-grandfather's carousel by orders of the royal family. And they talk about how art changes lives. They do all kinds of things together. This is our Sad Prince on a Carousel movie. Jillian, why do you like this for number 4?
Well, this movie has to be on this list, obviously, because it has the sad prince on the carousel, which we all know and love. But the rest of this movie, I mean, I absolutely love this movie. It's great, but the plot is so bonkers. It's so bonkers. Like, I rewatched this and I was like, it doesn't get any less bonkers. It gets more bonkers. But like I said before, when it comes to royal movies, you have to suspend all reality. And everybody in this movie is terrific. If you take away the ridiculous plot, the rest of it is fabulous. And it's got some good royal feels. You've got the sad prince at the end, and nothing beats that. So here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Elizabeth, you don't have a veto, but what are your thoughts on this movie for number 4, A Christmas Carousel?
I think we need to rename Jillian's nickname. It's not Lady Panda, it's like the Haymaker. I don't know where these things are coming from.
She has not given a good suggestion yet.
Oh, come
Aw.
on.
Oh, we do not. Only
Wow.
the host can pick shame.
No big shame.
I'm just kidding, Jillian. They're wonderful, all of them.
Don't lie, Dan. Come on.
Jillian, don't you change a thing. This is why I love you.
Well,
I would never. I truly love these movies. I'm not playing any like strategy here. I truly love all these movies that I have played.
well, let me agree with you because there is a lot to like about this. Neil Bledsoe is a delight. A delight. The man is easy on the eyes. He's easy on the ears. He plays royal really great. We've got a great castle. A gala. She's got a great gown with a nice white wrap with a red dress. It's beautiful. Not a great entrance. For me, the wait what's like, she travels in that dress. Who's going to catch a flight in that gown? I mean, come on. And they kept the secret of the carousel from the kid for like a week. No, there's just the wait what's are just, you could drive a Mack truck through these things. But since I don't have a veto, I think this is delightful. I think
Well,
it's
maybe you
perfectly
have-
placed.
Maybe you've persuaded Dan to use his vetoes. You never know. That's why I ask, even though people don't have vetoes. So Dan, A Christmas Carousel at number 4.
Can I get a ruling clarification?
Oh,
Sure.
boy.
I don't care. I can say it out loud. I don't have to type it
Yep.
in the chat. If I don't use a veto in this, what do I carry over to the next? Is it a veto and a veto override, or is it 2 veto overrides? Is
You
it
can
all
pick your
3?
2. You can
I
pick
can
your
pick
2.
my 2?
Yep.
Okay.
You're strategizing for the next round already.
No. Here's the thing: is this list is shot straight to hell, and I think we all know it.
No, it's wonderful. What are you talking about?
Jillian stands by it.
I want to be very clear.
I definitely do.
I I have picked my list. Like I have not done what you guys have thought that I've done. I really have picked everything I've picked has been off of my top 10. Here's the thing is I know what I'm picking at 3, and I know what 2 and 1 are going to be. I would be shocked if it's not, if 2 and 1 aren't what I think they are. Like
Now
I'll
you
write it
jinxed
over
it,
here.
Dan. You
Now
jinxed
it
it
could be
right there.
They could be in different orders. It could be one that like, but 2 and 1 I feel like are fairly sacred. I think you know, a Royal Christmas was probably up there too, and I played it too soon for you guys. I played it where I wanted to. That's fine. But I feel like I'm going to play my pick. I know what it is. Nothing's going to change it. And then I know what 2 and 1 are going to be. And I feel confident enough that I can use my 3 on what I want. And so if I veto this, she's just going to like, this movie was outside of my top 10, but it wasn't as low as Royal Hearts. Just wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah. Royal Hearts is in a different like dog turd stratosphere than this movie. And so for me, this movie's not good, but you know, I'm looking at our list and most of these aren't good. And so if I can save my veto and I can go into the September one, because I'm not going to use it at 2. I'm not going to use it. Because in my head I was going, I can either use it now or at 2, depending on what Jillian does. And if Jillian wants to sacrifice one of the 2 movies that's really important to put Royal Hearts at 2, she can do that, I guess. But if I don't veto this, I can keep it. Like if I veto this, it's Royal Hearts. She said it was 5 on her list. This is pick 4. If I veto this, it's Royal Hearts. It is. And so if I don't veto it and I can carry it in and I get my boy Neil Bledsoe on the list, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let it ride.
The fact that you're using this as strategy for your next one feels like you're cheating on me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm just going to
You
say.
can play the next one with us.
At least you put it out in the open instead of in the chat, and I would have given him. the
Yeah,
same
I know where I
answer
stand in September.
Either way,
Right?
Yeah.
Jeez,
I mean,
Dan.
I want my veto to matter. And it's
Jane's
not gonna
already
matter if I
Jane's
play
already
it.
got her strategy going for September.
Yeah.
She's taking notes. All right, so we have.
I
a
want to
Christmas-
hug him, but I also want to slug him at the same time. Who hurt you, Dan? Who hurt you? Come on.
I'm just going to use Dan's comment as a quote for this draft overall. This list is shot straight to hell. That's what he just said. By
I
Dan.
gotta be honest. I like my bottom 8. I think Jillian had 4 or 5 in her top 10 from that list. So you know,
Yeah.
YOLO.
All right. So we have a Christmas carousel locked in at 4. I'm going to do a brief recap. Dan, you can send me your number 3. So we have Smooch at 10. 9 is Royal Christmas Eve. 8 is Fit for a Prince. 7 is A Royal Christmas. 6 is Royal Matchmaker. 5 is Once Upon a Prince. 4 is A Christmas Carousel. And Dan has offered up at number 3.
Buckle up, everybody.
Yeah. Dan has offered up at number 3 again. And no one has a veto. So it's going to be number 3. My Summer Prince from
Oh,
2000.
good Lord, Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is wrong with
Get
you?
what you get.
From 2016. This is the one with Taylor Cole, Jack Turner, and Lauren Holly. My Summer Prince. We've talked about it, but Dan, give it another shot. Just say your
Ah.
piece. It's there.
This is number 6. This is number 6 on my list. It has been number 6 since I watched it. I think it's Taylor Cole's best work. I think it belongs on the list. Everyone exhausted all their vetoes and feels strongly about it. But you know, this had been happy with any pick yet so far. And so I'm going to sleep great tonight knowing that this did make the list and it made it all the way there at number 3. My Summer Prince.
I'm pretty good at reading body language, and I think by the way that Elizabeth and Jillian are shaking their heads left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right, that's a no from them.
I
But we
think we're all suffering because Dan has a thing for Taylor Cole. I think that's what it is. I think Dan is in love with Taylor Cole.
You know what?
We're on the list at number 3.
If Taylor Cole and Jonathan Keltz made a movie together, you and I should go see it together.
Baby, sign me up. Sign me up. I would do it twice on Sunday.
Or maybe I should
Aren't
do a
we
Taylor
all
Cole.
in love with
Yeah.
Taylor Cole, though? I mean, just a little.
I love
She's
Taylor
beautiful.
Cole.
Dude,
We're gonna see her in more movies. It's
Yeah.
nothing against Taylor Cole. I just don't think this movie belongs on this list.
Jillian's
Lauren
right.
Holly, isn't it? You have a
Got
thing
it.
against chicken pox.
I do.
So Dan
Mhm.
played his final pick at number 3, which is my summer prince. So Jillian, that brings us to you with your final pick, which is for number 2.
I'm so afraid. This is bonkers
Okay.
new. I'm petrified.
Here's what's gonna happen, Elizabeth. Okay, just calm yourself. Okay,
Mm-mm.
I'm running out of
I'm
bourbon,
gonna let
Jillian.
you have. You're gonna
Running out
have
of
whatever
bourbon?
you want. You get to have whatever you want at number 1. Okay,
It's true.
you get to have whatever you want at number 1
Love it.
because I'm gonna play.
Oh
What
God,
I
what's the end
want
of that sentence?
Well, yeah, you
be
get
on
to
this
play
list.
whatever you get to have whatever you want at number 1. Elizabeth,
I don't care.
only if Dan is being true to his word that he's going to hang on to his veto.
Yeah, I have a veto. If it's crazy
has a
town, I
veto.
can. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid she's saying I'm going to have whatever I want, but it's going to stand on Royal Corgi Christmas. I mean, I think this is where we're going.
No,
here.
no, 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 no. Calm
William
yourself.
and
I don't care
Catherine.
whether I don't
That's
care
what it
what's
is.
at number 2
Number
or number
one.
1. I don't care what's number 2 or number 1. So you get to have number 1. It's okay.
Thank God.
Calm yourself.
Well, we'll see what you pick first.
Well, I don't think it's going to come as any surprise that Jillian has picked again at number 2
No.
a movie from 2020. Hold on. A movie from 2020, One Royal Holiday. So it's Laura Osnes, Crystal Joy
I
Brown.
saw you said picked again, and I was like, she picked it again. Oh, we already picked it once. Yeah.
I think we all thought it.
We already
We
picked
all
it
thought it.
was Tom McGowan. And it's the whole family over in the US, the royal family from Galwick and that whole thing. And they stay out of bed and breakfast. So we've talked about it already. Jillian, do you want to say why you put this on number 2?
This is my number 1 pick. So I love this movie. It's hilarious. I mean, nothing beats that staircase scene where they're all running down talking about the black ice. Like it's just one of the best scenes in like any Hallmark movie that I've watched. It's just hilarious. I watched it again. I rewatched this movie and I was like, it's still hilarious. Like this movie is great. It's not the thing about a lot of these royal movies is that a lot of them are Christmas movies as well. And I really like all the Christmas feels in this movie as well. Like I think they do a lot of really fun Christmas stuff as well. So you've got the royal stuff, even though it's not taking place in a castle, it's taking place in an inn. But you get a lot of feels because of all the Christmas stuff. So yeah, this was my number 1. I'm playing it at number 2. Elizabeth can have her number 1, whatever she wants it to be, if Dan behaves himself. So there we go.
Okay, it's locked in at number 2. Dan, Elizabeth, do either of you want to comment on this at number 2?
I think
Well,
it's
Dan,
brilliant.
you actually have a veto, so.
I do have a veto. Go ahead, Elizabeth. What were you going to say?
I couldn't agree with Jillian more. It's brilliant. There are so many great lines in this. It was filmed in Connecticut. It is fantastic. The Queen is hysterical. I love this movie.
Awesome. Dan, you're going to let it slide or are you going to use a veto?
I'm just kidding. I am not going to veto this movie. This is a definite top 5, no matter where you put it. It is really, really funny and fun. I had it a little bit lower, but not enough to have any quibbles considering what all we've gone through. And I feel really confident that the correct movie is going to be number 1 as well. So that's going to be nice that we finally came to our senses a little bit. So yeah, I'm in for One Royal Holiday at number 2.
All right. So Elizabeth, you can send me your pick for number 1 and I'm going to do a recap. We have Smooch at number 10. 9 is Royal New Year's Eve. 8 is Fit for a Prince. 7 is A Royal Christmas. 6 is Royal Matchmaker. 5 is Once Upon a Prince. 4 is A Christmas Carousel. 3 is My Summer Prince. Number 2 is One Royal Holiday. And the number 1 pick, Oh, Elizabeth's chewing her fingers. She doesn't know what to do. Both
This is
fists
You
in
What?
the
you better not be chewing your fingers.
This is not hard
There's
at
only
all.
one choice, Elizabeth.
There's only
There's-
one choice left.
I
Yeah,
have
there's
no
no-
idea
many
what it's gonna be.
movies. But there's so many movies on my list that didn't make the list that belong on the list.
No,
But what
no,
in
no,
God's
no,
name
no,
are we
no.
doing?
can't
It's
shove 'em
number
all
one.
into
But what's
number
your
one.
favorite one, Elizabeth? What's your favorite one?
For what?
You get to have it. You get to have the number one pick.
Dan still has a veto, and you know what he's like. The Grinch, his heart has not like grown
Oh,
3
no,
times.
He's gonna hold it for the next one.
Just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah, nice, nice. Mister, I'm gonna do strategy for September and just cheat on all of you people. All right, made my decision.
Okay, nope, I have it. So Elizabeth has picked a Royal Corgi Christmas. You're just
Everybody turn it off. We're done. We're
I
done.
know, I know.
Turn it down.
Elizabeth, I was hoping Dan was going to be taking a drink from that bottle because I was looking for the sip thing. We came really close. That was a big laugh. Okay, Elizabeth has picked a movie from 2015, Rupert Penry Jones, Danica McKellar, A Crown for Christmas. Total classic. So after getting fired from her job as a maid at a ritzy New York City hotel, Allie reluctantly accepts a temporary gig in the country of Windshire as governess to a young girl named Theodora, who turns out to be the daughter of King Maximilian. As Allie bonds with Theodora, she learns that King Max, a widower, is scheduled to be wed to Countess Celia. And it goes on from there, where they fall in love. And again, this movie has the same 3 writers as A Royal Christmas from 2014, the year before, which were Michael Damian, Janine Damian, and Neil Dabrowski. Queen Elizabeth, why do you choose this as the number 1 movie, A Crown for Christmas?
Well, let's talk Royal Radomina first. So this castle is amazing. It's just delightful. The horse in this is fantastic. The fact that he rides is amazing. And this is a drop dead sexy prince. This man has it going on in spades. Let me tell you, not a problem. This guy's got it coming. And, you know, they have it filmed in Romania. So again, they've got great background on it, but then they've got some really interesting characters in this. And I like that it has a lot of depth. You know, Fergus, who is the head of household there, he is a delight. But I think more importantly, another reason I love this movie is because it is my gateway movie to Deck the Hallmark. It is the movie that hooked me on the podcast when Dan lost his mind and started making fun of "You Had Me at Sewing Kit," because that's the best line in the entire universe. So I put it in my Apple reviews for him. I've made sure to mention it all the time when we're standing around, because that is a delightful line and a fantastic scene.
Yes.
It just, you can't get more royal than this. This is the top.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Dan, you're the only one left with a veto. Are you going to veto this at number 1?
I'm not going to veto this at 1. Not on your life. I will say we reviewed this very early in Deck the Hallmark. And it's one of those movies, along with Rocky Mountain Christmas, that Rocky Mountain Christmas isn't good, but Rocky Mountain Christmas is way better than the rating that I gave it. Most of my ratings, I would say, I stand by the general sentiment, but I was too hard on this movie. It is the quintessential Hallmark royal movie. In that regard, it's not particularly close. I probably enjoyed Royal Matchmaker as much as this, but who are we kidding? This movie is the Hallmark royal movie for numerous reasons. This is prime Danica McKellar. The Fergus character is wonderful. It passes the test of there's no surprise royalty for the whole movie. It does so much right. There's so many fun characters that aren't the main characters in this movie. This movie it belongs at the top of this list. In fact, 4 of my top 5 and 5 of my top 6 that I thought were unimpeachable did make the list. So that's good. This movie belongs at 1. I would have died on that hill, but I got the feeling that we were all on the same page there. So happy that it's here. and we at least, did it justice by putting it 1. So not going to veto it. I'll take a veto override and veto into the next one. Thanks.
Jillian, I'm going to let you have the final word here. You don't have any vetoes, but how do you feel about A Crown for Christmas?
Yeah, I think this movie is great. I had a feeling it was gonna end up here. So I'm glad it turned out this way. It's weird. I know this is like the pinnacle of the royal movies, but I don't love this movie for some reason. Like, I'm not sure what it is, but I love a lot of things about it, but as a whole, there's other movies that I prefer. So I'm gonna blow your minds right now when I tell you that this was number 9 on my list.
Well, we're going to get to the personal list in
It
just
is bizarro world over there at
just
Jillian's
a
house.
second.
Are you on
because-
like
Did you
cold medicine or something, Jillian?
Like,
Did
what
you
in the
understand how
world?
we were counting for this one? I mean, like 1 is the best and 10 is the worst, not the other way around.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
It just
One is
depends
the
what
one
your
that's the
rating
best of
system
all of
is.
them.
It just
Gosh.
depends on what your rating system is. We all have different rating systems.
Some might say that some of our what is it, Elizabeth? Your royalometer? What is that?
Royal Rate-O-Meter.
The royal rate-o-meter might need calibrating depending on who's drafting here. So
True, it's true.
it's up there. So first of all, good job, you guys. I will read the final list again in just a moment, but because this was so freaking bonkers, I'd love to just go around and have you guys read what your top 10 personal lists were in your draft order, and then we'll get to the host side hustle, and then I'll read the list again for the last time. So I'm going to do it in veto order. So I'm going to start with you, Elizabeth. What were your top 10s?
You want 1 to 10 or 10 up?
10 to 1.
10, I had Christmas Carousel with the Sad Prince, Fit for a Prince, which thankfully made the list. And then I had 3 that didn't even make the list: A Royal Winter, Princess for Christmas, and Royal Nanny. I mean, that's just disgraceful. None of those are on the list. And
Royal
then-
Nanny top 10.
Yeah, Royal Nanny didn't even get on our list.
Wow.
We should be
Wow.
embarrassed.
Well, I'm not embarrassed by that. Royal Nanny was down at 17 for me, but good for you.
But you need a hug. We understand.
do.
Okay, then I've got Once Upon a Prince,
Yeah.
One Royal Holiday, Royal Matchmaker, A Royal Christmas, and then Crown.
And then Crown. Okay. Dan, I'm sorry, Jillian, what about you? You're second in the veto order, starting with your number 10.
This is what I'm waiting for. This is it right here.
Yeah. What was your ranked list?
I have Once Upon a Holiday at number 10, Crown for Christmas at number 9, Royal New Year's Eve number 8, The Royal Nanny at 7, Smooch at 6, Royal Hearts at 5, Royal Matchmaker at 4, A Royal Christmas at 3, A Christmas Carol at 2, and our Carousel at 2, and One Royal Holiday at number 1.
So how many of yours made it onto the list, Jillian?
Oh gosh, I wasn't counting. Let me see.
Take a look and see.
Um,
Elizabeth, how many of yours made it onto the list?
7.
7? Okay, Dan, while Jillian is counting hers, let's hear your top 10.
I had Smooch at 10. At 9, I had Winter Princess, which is a movie I did not like at all, but it was Chris McNally, Natalie Hall, and I thought they were as good as they could be in a bad situation, which is where I ranked a lot of these movies. At 8, I had A Royal Runaway Romance with Brant
Woof.
Doherty and the Road Trip.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Um,
Oh,
yeah.
that movie's
Uh,
terrible.
And then 7, I had Princess for Christmas. And then my top 6 all made it aside from, oh, no, one of them didn't. 6, My Summer Prince. 5, A Royal Christmas. 4, Once Upon a Holiday. Did we all 3 have that on our list? Once Upon a Holiday?
It was my 11.
Yeah, it was mine 10.
Yeah, I think that movie is really, really like comparatively, like it does a lot right. Once Upon a Holiday, One Royal Holiday, Royal Matchmaker, Crown for Christmas. That was my
Okay.
list.
So how many did you have?
I had
how many-
7.
You had 7 as well? And how many did you get?
1,
Dan? Do you know?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only had 6.
You had
But
6.
5 of my top 6 made it, and my goal was to get those 6 on. I didn't. After
Right.
that, these movies, and so I feel good about that. The fact that Once Upon a Holiday wasn't on it would be the only one that stings a little bit, but I feel good
Okay.
about it. Feel good about getting 5 of those 6 on there.
Okay, so now let's do the host side hustle. Jane, let's start with you. Can you reveal what your top 10 list was from 10th to 1st, please?
So again, my strategy this time was more to pick movies that I liked with a dash of what I thought the drafters would pick. Because last time I went strictly with what I thought the drafters would pick and it sucked. So this time I brought my personal opinion in. So I had Christmas at the Palace at 10. I had a Royal Matchmaker at 9, Christmas Carousel at 8, Royal Hearts at 7.
Jane,
I know. Listen, Dan, listen. It was mentioned. It was
I
mentioned.
still think Royal Hearts belongs on the list.
Oh my
That's
God.
absurd. That's absurd.
Yeah.
And
You're
then
making me agree with Dan. That's how
Yeah.
bad that is.
at 6, I had a Royal Runaway Romance.
Yeah.
At 5, I had Royal Nanny. Then
Good
at 4, I liked Royal Nanny.
All of you did.
Oh, I did
I'm the
too.
only one that all 3, like Jillian and Elizabeth both had it on their list too.
Yeah. And then number 4, I had a Royal Christmas. 3, I had Once Upon a Holiday. That's one that I watch every year. I love that one. And then 2, I had them flipped. I had A Crown for Christmas at 2, and I had One Royal Holiday at 1. And that's a personal preference. When Royal Holiday came out, I think I watched it 5 times that year that it came out. I freaking love that movie.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
even though I still watch
So
Crown for
good.
Christmas every year, I adore One Royal Holiday. So I ended up with 5. If we're going by golf rules, I think I'm winning so far because I had 5.
Good job. Good job. You had 5.
I love it.
Erinbeth, let's hear your list.
All right. So my number 10 is Fit for a Prince. 9, Royal Matchmaker. 8, Once Upon a Holiday. 7, this ties us for the like of this, Royal Hearts.
Good Lord.
You guys have lost your mind.
Yeah, Erinbeth.
You know, I may not have a royal meter, but I have like a full-on ranking system with points
my
and
God.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's James
So-
Brolin in denim. I can't
James
say
Brolin
that
denim.
I
enough.
did not know that.
Number 6 was My Summer Prince because Taylor Cole, my girl, she's fantastic.
Great. You and Dan
Counselor
can
Deanna
date her.
Troy.
That's fabulous.
Come on.
That's right. Troy
Number
from Star
5,
Trek,
A
too.
Royal Christmas. 4, One Royal Holiday. 3, Crown for Christmas. 2, A Christmas Carousel. And number 1, I was really glad that Elizabeth and Dan had it on their list because I thought maybe I'm the only one that likes this movie. It is my absolute favorite. I watch it not just at Christmas, but probably no less than 4 times a year. I love this movie so much. A Princess for Christmas is absolutely, it may be my favorite Hallmark movie. It really might be. I mean, it's,
Wow.
It's so
it
good.
is, I just love
Yeah,
it.
what did you say 2 was the surprise for me? What did you say was Christmas Carousel? You
A
had all the way
Christmas
at 2.
Carousel. You know what? I would not have ranked it this high if you had asked me to rank these movies before watching them. But when I rewatched A Christmas Carousel, Neil Bledsoe just like took heart, and that little girl.
It's so good.
That's, you know, that little girl just was so cute. And I don't know, it scored. I mean, my scoring is really close in those first, well, A Princess for Christmas it's out of 50, got 45. But the top 5 have like 1 point between them all, and some of them tied. So
So how many
it-
did you get right?
it's really close.
How many did you get?
Thank you very much. I was so worried in the beginning of this list. I was like, I'm not coming out of this very well, but I got 7. So
Okay.
Jane wins.
So actually, wait, you need my list.
Oh boy.
And I'm not sure if I should be proud or if I should apologize. I'm not quite sure what this says about me in comparison to the ultimate list that you guys put together. So here we go.
Just stand by it, Lynn.
Oh, I do.
Love it.
And you should be grateful. I'll get to it. Number 10 for me is Royal Hearts. Number 9 is A Royal New Year's Eve, which
Dear God.
my buddy Sam Page,
God.
my Princeton boy Sam Page and Jesse Schramm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, just
Go
wait. 8 is A Royal Runaway Romance. Dan, you had that. It's number
Why do
8.
you guys like this movie? I don't understand why everybody likes that
It's
movie.
not good. I
No,
want to be
not
clear.
good.
It's one of
It's
my
great
favorites.
Courtney in it.
No, after the first 6, none of these are good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had to pick movies I didn't like from 7 to 10. But yeah, it's
that one's
different.
just
It's a road trip.
Boring.
It's a road trip movie. Yeah. Number 7 is Once Upon a Holiday. 6 is A
Okay,
Christmas-
Lynn, who hurt you, honey? Come on.
Just
Come
wait.
on.
Just wait. Just
Oh,
wait.
God.
It's on a holiday.
Number
gets
7 is Once Upon
better?
a Holiday. Number 6 is A Christmas Carousel. 5 is A Crown for Christmas.
Oh my
4
gosh.
is A Royal Matchmaker. 3 is Smooch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
No.
I thought there were some smooch heads in the house.
There's some smooch. There's a definite smooch there. I love that movie because it is just bonkers, and I will watch it if I just hope that they show it on something
Yeah.
other than YouTube in a small screen with bad audio. Number 2 is
That shit was
Fit for a
terrible.
Prince.
Which?
I love this movie.
Wait, what was it?
Fit for a prince?
Fit for a
A
Prince.
2?
Snappy
Love Jillian's
dialogue.
face.
Wow, Lady Panda coming at me. Seriously?
No pick shaming. I'm just surprised.
Come on, snappy dialogue.
That was definite
God.
pick shaming. It's okay. You can admit to it.
It's perfect.
none
It's
at all.
perfect. There's so much snark that the whole thing is fabulous. And my number 1 was a Royal Christmas. So I win. I had 8 on this crappy
Did
list.
you not have One Royal Holiday on your list?
I did not.
Wow.
Wow.
I did not.
One
In
Royal
fact,
Holiday does not make Lynn's top 10.
it doesn't.
How did you
I
get
knew
8,
this.
Lynn? I
A Royal Christmas, Fit for a Prince, Smooch, Royal Matchmaker, A Crown for Christmas, Christmas Carousel, Once Upon a Holiday. Wasn't that on there?
Once
Once
Upon a
Upon a
Holiday
Holiday's
wasn't
not
on
on
our
the
list.
Oh,
No.
that was Once Upon a Prince. Oh, I have 7 then. Sorry.
I'm like, we
Okay.
tied.
No, we're
But that's the
tied.
thing
Lots of
is that-
7s.
It's very clear that movie should have been on this list. Like that movie, like I think everyone said it, but Elizabeth, right?
Yeah, no.
So
I had
that's the
that as
one.
11.
That's the one with Paul Campbell. That's the Runaway Princess one. It's Paul
And New York
Campbell. It's
City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg
It's a
Evigan.
really good movie.
His daughter, Brianna Evigan, stars as the runaway princess Katie. So lots of snappy dialogue in that as well.
Really good.
So
I wish that one had replaced My Summer Prince, and then this list would be perfect.
Perfect. Woo, wow. Yeah.
this
So
list is
I knew-
perfect.
hearing this like confirmed what I thought, which is when it comes to royal movies, the opinion just varies like across the board, like of what people are looking for and what they think is great, which makes this a lot more fun than say like, I mean, not that like Tyler Hines is a fun list because you got great people, but everybody knows the 3 at the top are the 3 at the top. But here, like only two of us have Crown for Christmas number 1. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it was
I
9
came
for
in-
me.
I came into this list going, all 6 of us will have Crown for Christmas 1 or 2, definitely. Like all in on it. And I was dead wrong. That is fascinating.
This was bonkers. This was the longest draft ever. We're coming in at almost 2.5 hours. So
Yeah.
So thank you guys. One more for the final time. Here's the definitive list of the 10 best Hallmark movies with a royal theme as drafted by Elizabeth, Jillian, and Dan. Buckle up. Number 10, Smooch. 9, Royal New Year's Eve. 8, Fit for a Prince. 7, A Royal Christmas. 6, Royal Matchmaker. 5, Once Upon a Prince. 4, A Christmas Carousel. 3, My Summer Prince. 2, one royal holiday, and the number one movie is A Crown for Christmas. Great job, everybody. Are we all still sober? Are we still awake?
We didn't.
Nope.
I don't
You're
think
assuming I
Elizabeth
started
is.
that way. Yeah.
Oh, so funny. So funny. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Let's all say bye. Bye.
Bye.
Hallmark Movie Drafts is produced by me, Lynn Austin, with additional creative and research support from Erinbeth Cermak and Catherine Baca. This show would not be possible without the dedicated and talented Deck the Hallmark podcast Double Deckers, who share their passionate opinions on these Hallmark movies that we love, or maybe not love, so much. Intro and outro music is courtesy of Amada Zapana. If you love this pod, please leave a 5-star review. It helps other Hallmark movie fans to find us and join in on the shenanigans. Be sure to follow the show at Hallmark Movie Drafts on Instagram.